On today's show, a cybersecurity researcher found a database online and he posted it off on Twitter. The file contained a ton of personal information: names, birthdays, where they live, where they work, even their location down to the exact moment. Which world power did he expose? Well, I have the answer. And Apple's Siri helped save a man's life after he flipped his Jeep several times. I'll tell you how. We're actually going to chat with the man who dodged death. Plus, have you ever wondered what type of wine to pair with a meal? Well, LG has a new smart appliance that claims to have all the answers all the time. And I'll tell you, that's nothing to whine about. And finally, in today's digital life hack, I'll give you 12 gadgets to use with your Amazon or Google Assistant that will make your home smarter than you are. All this plus more digital know-how and, of course, your calls you don't want to miss here on Komando. We're going to start today with a true story of massive tracking and video surveillance, and for that, come along with me, some 6,400 miles and a world away from where I stand right now. You see, the Chinese government controls public behavior with a whopping 300 million surveillance cameras powered by artificial intelligence that can recognize a specific person immediately. Tens of thousands of police officers with smart glasses, they weave in and out of crowds, identifying, tracking everyone they come across. Drones are overhead, even airplanes are watching. Commit the slightest infraction, you're busted on the spot and humiliated as your face and government ID are put online on public monitors for everyone to see. That's right, it's 1984 in a way that would make George Orwell actually think twice. Now, a Dutch cybersecurity researcher found a database online and he posted it on Twitter. The files contained real-time data on about 2.5 million people living in a part of Western China. In the file were their names, birthdays, where they worked, along with AI and facial recognition, exactly where the people were at any given moment and where they've been. A woman who once lived in that region told the Associated Press that cameras were installed everywhere, even in the cemeteries. Here's a fun fact. The Skynet project is said to be able to identify any of the 1.4 billion Chinese citizens within 3 seconds. Wow, 3 seconds. Think about that processing power next time the latest viral video you're watching starts buffering. Okay, so we're also being watched here. Maybe not all the time, but think about it. There's a camera, or maybe 3 on your smartphone. There's one on your laptop, one on your tablet, on your smart TV. There's cameras around your house for security, others on street corners and stores. I mean, they are everywhere. But it can be really unsettling when you find one where you would expect, like hidden in a vacation rental. We've talked about that one before. You also should expect to see one staring back at you from the seat back of a commercial flight. That's a new one. And one airline is fielding a lot of questions. A Singapore Airlines passenger found one on the in-flight entertainment display and took photos, posting them to Twitter to ask the airline, hey, what's up with this? The airline responded, saying the cameras are disabled and there's no plan to use them in the future. So, of course, that leads to questions like, why are they there in the first place? On that one, the airline said the camera-equipped in-flight entertainment systems were added to their newer planes by the manufacturers, Panasonic and another firm named Thales. Now, there have been reports that years ago, Thales was looking into embedding an infrared camera in their systems for eye tracking and hand gestures to control what's on the screen. You could also video call someone on the ground. Yeah, like that would be annoying. People got all upset online about this news, but not for nothing. Everyone on an airplane already has a camera. Now, I'm no astronaut, but I can tell you with confidence that the Earth is round. Apparently, more people than ever believe that the world is actually flat. And a new study says this is all thanks to the facts that they get on YouTube. A professor at Texas Tech University, a woman by the name of Ashley Landrum, has been looking into the sudden rise of the flat Earth theory. She interviewed people at a few flat Earth conventions. They exist. And yes, she found more people than ever believe in it. Okay, here's where YouTube comes into play. A lot of these people she spoke with like to watch YouTube videos about general conspiracy theories. Well, Google always makes suggestions, so you'll stick around. And guess what? Related videos they're pushing. You guessed it, more conspiracy theories like flat Earth videos. YouTube has a long history of blaming the bad algorithms rather than humans who program the algorithms. If they fix these algorithms, maybe, just maybe, that would at least curb some of the flat Earth conventions that seem to be popping up all around the globe. We all see those viral internet challenges pop up on YouTube and other social media pretty often. But I haven't seen one yet where flat earthers have tried to actually find the edge. All right, I dare you. It's been years in the making, but 5G next-gen mobile broadband is almost here. We know 5G is going to start rolling out later this year and into 2020. But Verizon offered up some details during their recent investor meetings. Verizon says that they'll be deploying 5G in 30 cities by the end of 2019. Now, that's not surprising news, since Samsung's 5G version of their brand new Galaxy S10 would at first launch exclusively on Verizon. All right, Verizon didn't mention which 30 cities or give a time frame, but Samsung's 5G phone is supposed to hit stores sometime in the first half of this year. T-Mobile's already got 5G towers in quite a few cities, but so far, no announcements about compatible phones, except when they did say in December that some 5G phones could be available during the first half of this year. And AT&T is also deploying 5G in parts of the country. But until compatible smartphones start hitting the market, you're just going to have to settle for the old-fashioned 4G LTE for now. Or you could pretend that you already have 5G because, hey, it's already working for AT&T. And finally, Lyft is rolling out a new service, but instead of being as fast as 5G, it's going to be slower, much slower. They're calling it the most affordable ride, and it's basically carpooling, similar to Express Pool, which Uber has. But Lyft says the pricing won't fluctuate like it does with Uber, and that they'll, quote, always lock in the lowest prices even when it's busy, end quote. All right, how low? We're not sure. But as a comparison, Uber's Express Pool is usually about 75% the cost of a standard Uber X request. Here's how it works. Look for something called Shared Saver in the app. Request a ride, but then you have to wait a while before it even gets you connected with a driver. Once you do get connected with a driver, you get to take a walk, maybe even a few blocks to get to your designated pickup spot. And get this, you won't quite make it all the way to your destination. You'll be dropped off a few blocks away from where you really want to go. And once again, you're going to have to walk to your final destination. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Lyft is giving us the groundbreaking creation of a bus stop. The Kim Komando Show is actually a radio show, too. You can find us on 400 stations from coast to coast and around the globe, and I love this, on American Forces Network Radio. That's every ship at sea in 177 different countries. Now, because it's a national radio show, your phone calls are a huge part of it. And taking our calls every week and screening your calls is awesome Andrew Babinski. And as always, Andrew hangs out in the Kim Komando Show man cave because, well, he didn't want to have like a girly cave because he's really a sports guy.
This is where you put me.
I know, but look at all the football stuff.
Go Cardinals. That's all I have to say.
When the Cardinals actually ever make it to the Super Bowl,
right, then
you have something to talk about.
That's not fair, and it hurts. Did you see the story this week about the video game that went up for auction?
No, I didn't.
$100,000.
Wait, $100,000 video game?
Yes, it was crazy. It was an original Super Mario Brothers in mint condition, and it was graded. That means a professional company looked at it, put it in a protective case.
How old was it from?
The original NES.
Oh, God, that's crazy.
Yes, and it was a variation of one of the boxes that was only sold in New York and Los Angeles. That's why it was so valuable. But it gave me an idea. I need you to drink out of this.
Why?
Because when I go to sell it in 10 years, I want to be able to market it as used.
Oh, no, I'm not thinking that.
Fine.
It's like the person that wanted, remember that person that wanted my red pumps?
Yeah.
That was like nutso.
I was going to fund my kids' college with this. I guess they'll just go to state schools.
That's okay. I mean, I graduated from Arizona State University with a computer degree. I really am a geek. All right, coming up, we're going to go to the phone lines and start taking all of your phone calls next on Komando.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup weed killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Glyphosate, the primary ingredient in Roundup weed killer, was recently designated a probable human carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Call right now.
Call 800-866-0053. That's 800-866-0053.
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone.
I was getting sinus infections because I wasn't cleaning my CPAP properly, and that continued until I got my SoClean.
SoClean is the world's first automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your mask, hose, and reservoir.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. SoClean has been a lifesaver.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I would recommend the SoClean machine to anyone else. It is that good of a machine. It has made that big a difference in my life.
Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 or go to SoClean.com.
Are you worried about your online security? Or maybe you have a question about something digital and you need my trusted advice? Well, just pick up the phone and call us at 1-888-825-5254. And when you do, there's Andrew Babinski, who's a little under the weather this week.
Thanks, Kim.
In the Kim Komando Show Man Cave.
Hello.
You know, I think it's been going around everywhere.
Oh, yeah. My children have had it on and off for 2 weeks, and I finally got it, whatever it is. It's just crud. I can't explain it as anything else but crud. Nate is in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And normally I have this huge, big setup and tell part of the story, but this is Nate's story. It belongs to Nate and how technology helped him in a time of need. And I would say, just go to Nate.
It's not very often where you do that.
No, I like to talk a lot. I like to be in the spotlight. I like to be in front of the microphone. But this is a time where I just have to hand it off because he can tell. I can't justify telling his story. It's too good.
I'll have to tell you, Nate, I can count on one hand how many times Andrew has actually not wanted to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, kind of flattering, I think.
So tell us what happened.
It's been a rather wet winter for Southern Nevada, Vegas area. December 7th, we had a decent rain, and there's an area not too far from where I live that I like to go off-roading.
Okay.
So had decent rain, was heading out to go play in the mud, brought my dog along, and went out for about a half hour and was on my way home, and my Jeep started to hydroplane sideways.
Oh.
I had no control over it. I was only going about 35, 40 mile an hour, and as soon as I felt the rear end of the vehicle start catching up with me, that was it. And it was a ridiculously aggressive and violent flip. It flipped about 3.5 times, my Jeep did, and landed on the roof. It knocked me out. I came to about 3.5 hours later. I didn't know what time it was, didn't know.
Wow.
You know, just trying to piece together what's going on. And my dog actually woke me up. Stayed by my side the whole time and tried to move. And if I had to put a number on it, I'd guess I was about 80% paralyzed. I had spinal damage. I couldn't lift my head up. And one of my legs, I couldn't even wiggle toes. And so I was telling myself, well, it's going to be a cold night. I got to get out of here. And so I tried my best to crawl out of the Jeep. I told myself if I could crawl, I could stand. If I could stand, I could walk, and I'll be okay. And I couldn't even get out of I couldn't get out. So what's next? And tried to see if I could stay warm with my dog. And no, that's not going to work. And I'm like, well, wonder where my phone's at. And I had no idea where it was, if it was broken. So I figured it's worth a try. I mean, it was dead silent. We're way out in the middle of nowhere. And so I cleared my throat best I could. And, hey, Siri, and started call so-and-so, call so-and-so, rapping off names. And she heard me. And
wow.
unable to connect, out of range, out of service. And I'm like, man, well, hey, Siri, call 911. And she said, connecting emergency services. I was able to guide search and rescue out to where I was just from being familiar with the area. And they had a helicopter waiting for me at the closest pavement, which was about 6 miles away. The helicopter took me into a major hospital into Vegas. And I had moved or dislocated my C1 through 5 vertebrae. I had broken my C6 and C7.
Oh, geez.
The disc between the C6 and C7 had slipped out and compressed my spinal cord. And so there was about 4 different factors after the x-rays and MRIs were done that, from my understanding with the surgeons and doctors, that 4 different factors that they've seen make it so, someone couldn't take your call today, I lived through all of it.
Oh, jeez.
And so they were kind of preparing for full paralysis, and I was able to stand up and put one foot in front of the other.
Is that right?
A couple days after surgery, yeah.
Wow.
Things aren't easy for me. The 2 vertebrae that I broke are the nerve endings for your arms and hands, and so if you've ever woken up from a nap after laying on your arm and go to grab your phone really quick, like that's how I am all day long. It'll all get back to me, but slowly.
What's the prognosis now?
Just time. The follow-up with my surgeon, he said I'm healing great, but he reminded me, he said, you didn't stub your toe. As of now, you just got to sit it out.
Oh, wow. Think about what could have happened if you didn't have the wherewithal to ask Siri to call emergency services.
Oh, man, it would have been a bad night.
And so have you set up a GoFundMe?
Yes, ma'am. A good friend of mine set one up for me. It's Nathaniel Felix at GoFundMe. I can't express how appreciative I am of the friends that have helped me out. Sure. It's more than I could have ever expected. For
everybody who's listening and watching, we'll put a link over to Nate's GoFundMe page and over at komando.com in the show pics. And it serves as a reminder for all of us that if you haven't set up your phone with Hey Siri or Google Assistant to say, okay, Google, do it now while you're thinking about it. Are you tired of getting colds and sinus infections or coughs that take months to cure? Well, you could be getting sick from the air in your home. The air in our home is up to 5 times more polluted than the outdoors. We're constantly breathing in mold, bacteria, viruses, and airborne chemicals. So I got a Molecule. Molecule isn't like the air purifiers you're used to. It uses nanotechnology that actually destroys mold, bacteria, viruses, and chemicals in your home. The current HEPA air filter technology was invented in World War II, and it can't trap microscopic pollutants. Molecule does. Imagine the last time you visited a forest and remember breathing in that crisp, clean, pristine air. That's how folks describe Molecule. Try Molecule for 60 days. If you're not allergy symptom free, if you don't sleep better, if you don't love it, return it. It's that simple. Visit getmolecule.com and get $75 off with promo code KIMTV. That's spelled MOLEKULE. Again, visit getmolecule.com and be sure to use promo code KIMTV. And back to the phones we go with Mary in Sedona, Arizona. Hi there, Mary. What's going on?
I need a program or an app that can help transcribe audio meeting recordings or interviews. And I've used No Notes for outgoing phone calls, and their transcription service is really pretty darn good. But I'm looking for another solution for just uploading like a WAV file or something like that, and wanted to know what you thought.
Okay, so how much are they charging at No Notes?
Oh, it's pretty darn affordable, like around $10 a month.
Is that like 30 minutes?
Or more. It's Yeah, there's because it's automated, and so you have to go through a little bit of, fixing it yourself. I've looked at Sonics, and they're not too accurate, and Dragon doesn't seem to really have what I need.
Well, with Dragon, you'd have to actually play the file, and then it would hear it. But sometimes when it gets into transcription, it's really hard to beat the human ear. An actual person going, especially if you have more than one voice,
right,
to go back and forth. What you could try is Google Docs. Have you ever tried that?
No, I haven't.
With Google Docs is that they have something called a voice typing tool. And so, so it's kind of like Dragon, is that you can play the file and then it would do its best translating. But I have heard from people who are transcribing a lot of documents that Google actually does a really good job at it because they've been translating audio for so long that when it comes time to translating the human voice, that they've kind of got it down. So you might want to look at Google Docs, and that voice typing tool. Mary, thank you so much for your call. All right, coming up, noble failures of tech. We salute you. Andrew and I are going to talk about some tech flops that were actually ahead of their time. Next on Komando.
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone.
I was getting sinus infections because I wasn't cleaning my CPAP properly, and that continued until I got my So Clean.
So Clean is the world's first automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your mask, hose, and reservoir.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. So Clean has been a lifesaver.
So Clean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I would recommend the So Clean machine to anyone else. It is that good of a machine. It has made that big a difference in my life.
Try So Clean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 or go to SoClean.com.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. The Center for Medicare Services has officially authorized new benefits Medicare Advantage plans may include. Plans may now include private home aids and rides to medical appointments. Most plans also include dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. To get the benefits you deserve, call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline, and they instantly advised me that I wasn't getting all the benefits I deserved. They explained I could get a plan that includes dental and prescription coverage, as well as the new coverage for private home aids and rides to medical appointments. If you want to find out what you deserve, call the number on your screen now. It's free. You'll be happy you called, I guarantee it.
Call to see if you can save money and get more benefits now. Don't delay. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-811-8680. That's 1-800-811-8680.
I thought it'd be interesting for Andrew and I to talk about technology.
Absolutely.
I love technology.
I love technology that works.
And some of this technology, when you look at it, maybe you might not be familiar with. For example, the Apple Newton message pad.
That does not sound like a new product.
No. This is actually from 1993. And the portable Newton message pad from Apple was supposed to be their next big hit. $699, offered handwriting recognition, recognized 10,000 words right off the start, had impressive AI, scheduled meetings, you could infrared data to other devices.
Really? That's way ahead of its time.
But it never caught on.
Well, because it was $700.
Nobody really wanted it. Now think about where we are with the iPad, though.
Yeah.
iPad, $1,000, $1,200.
And I'm sure someone said the same thing about the iPod. Who's going to spend $300 to store all their songs on one stinking device? And it was the biggest thing ever.
Okay, the laser disc.
I had an uncle who had a laser disc player.
You did?
Yes.
I never knew anybody who had a laser disc player.
And he had an extensive, now this is the same uncle where we share a Vudu account, where we all contribute to movies on our Vudu account.
Okay, so he's always been into movies.
Yes.
Okay.
Our family has put in 3. He so far has put in 750. So when Laserdiscs were out, he loved them. We were boggled. You had to stop in the middle of the movie and switch the disc.
But
they were as big as a dinner plate.
They were huge. They were huge.
You couldn't fit a whole movie on that?
1978, Laserdiscs. A lot of people don't realize that in 1996, Sony had something called the Glasstron. And this was a head-mounted display that promised to, are you ready? Give you the viewing experience of a 52-inch television.
Ooh, a nice small TV. I like it.
And right inside were 2.55-inch LCD screens, each one boasting 180,000 pixels.
So this was like a VR helmet before
Correct.
VR helmets.
Yes. In 1996, this was Sony's idea of a VR helmet. And they say it was like you were sitting in a real movie theater. But to everybody else, you look like a dork.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like the people that wore the Google Glass.
Right. We have VR helmets. I purchased them for our household. We have used them once. They are sitting in they made the move with us, but my wife complains about them constantly.
Why?
Because we don't use them.
Just taking up space.
We've argued about this on the show. No one's going to sit down. Hey, let's watch the Suns versus the Warriors tonight. Everybody get their helmet. For gaming, I get it. It's going to be there. For TV, no.
Web TV. You remember that?
Yes, I remember the commercials for that.
And the MSN TV, 1996.
That was geared towards older people,
right,
who were afraid of the internet.
Petrified.
Yes.
And so you could get the internet on your TV with the keyboard.
Right, in the living room.
In the living room. You know, people who had it, I remember they loved it. And when it went away, I remember we got a lot of complaints, people here on the show, like, what do I get now? They took my web TV account away, right? This is interesting to me because a lot of people don't realize that I actually got into technology because of my mother. When I
Your mother is Mark Zuckerberg. We can tell everybody.
Mark Zuckerberg's mother and my mother. No, I guess I was probably about 7 or 8, is that she went to school. So she went to college and she got a degree in computer science. And then she started to work at Bell Labs and AT&T. And when I would get sick, because she was the only woman on the team, she couldn't take off. So whenever I would get sick, I would have to go to Bell Labs with her. And then it was at that point in my life that I was first exposed to computers at the ripe age of 7 or 8 or 9.
Wow.
And I was working on a game called Hunt the Wumpus, or I wouldn't say working on. The programmer guys would say, here, Kim, here's Hunt the Wumpus, play this game. And whenever the game would crash, I would have to write down a line of code and then go give it to this guy, Ken. Little did I know that Ken was the inventor of the Unix operating system.
Wow.
Okay. The team was also working on the first picture phone, the AT&T picture phone.
Your mom was?
Yes.
That is so cool.
And when you ask her why it didn't take off, she said because you needed to have like $100,000 worth of equipment on each side. So unless it was a major corporation, where they could save time and money and airfare and things like that, it was a hard sell. But look where we are now.
Yeah, everybody bought the equipment. We carry it in our pocket.
Yes. Sega Dreamcast, I never really...
I had a Dreamcast.
Did you? I never had one.
Here's interesting. It's the reason I got a credit card.
Really? Why?
I had no need for a credit card. I never made huge purchases. And then the Sega Dreamcast came out, and NFL 2K was their signature game. It blew Tecmo Bowl. It blew Madden out of the water. And I didn't have the money, so I went and signed up for a credit card so I could buy the Sega Dreamcast.
And unfortunately, it was a commercial flop.
It was, yes. That was the last Sega console that they created.
So do you see any commercial flops now?
Things that are supposed to be hot.
Yeah, that really aren't.
That really aren't.
Like the Facebook portal screen, I think that's a total commercial failure.
I absolutely agree. I think that Apple's version of the Alexa, which no one can remember the name of, is going to be a flop. I think Google Home and Alexa have cornered that market.
Well, the HomePod is nothing other than a glorified speaker. Yes.
I think these folding phones, I honestly think they are going to be flops.
Well, $2,000 for a smartphone is a lot of money.
And it folds. That's the big selling point. It folds.
Yeah.
That's got flop written all over it.
So, do you want some cheese with your wine? No, this isn't the start of a joke, but there is a smart appliance that has the answer. Next on Komando.
Be a caller on the Kim Komando Show. Call 1-888-825-5254. Live Fridays, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or send your questions and comments to askkim@komando.com.
There are times when I know that I really am a geek when hearing about new tech like this really excites me. Okay, let's say you're having electrical work done, maybe to install a wired smart gadget or a GFI switch, something like that. You need to shut down the power in part of your house. So you make your way to the breaker box. You're looking for the circuit breakers for the kitchen, but then you see all the labels that were written in pencil have worn off. Great. So now it's trial and error. Fun times for sure. Well, wouldn't it be nice if you can control the breaker box with an app, just like everything else? Well, Leviton just released a new smart breaker box called the Load Center, along with smart circuit breakers. So now you can use an app to turn the breakers on and off. You can get alerts when one trips. You can see how much power an appliance is using. This is a great option if you're building a new house or if you're overhauling your current setup. And think about it, ladies. The next time the hairdryer trips the breaker, you can just pick up your phone to reset it in an app. Nice. Do you ever find yourself standing there just trying to decide which wine that you're in the mood for? Okay, tough times are over. Now you can just ask your fridge. That's right. There's a new smart fridge in town, a smart wine refrigerator. LG just unveiled a built-in column-style wine fridge, and yes, it's app-enabled. Just add your wine to the fridge, then use the app to keep track of what you have on hand, and it'll even make recommendations of both wine and food. Yes, this fridge even does the wine pairing for you. And that's nothing to whine about. All right, new wine cave technology, that's what they're calling it, deals with all those variables that mess with the taste of the wine. So just kick off those smart shoes and let your special fridge tell you what's good. And don't forget, if you have one of those Samsung Hub refrigerators for your plain old regular food and drinks, it can also help set you up on a date. That's right, you can find a date based on the food in your refrigerator. After all, there's no problem in life that 3 glasses of wine just simply cannot solve. All right, imagine you're driving down the road. Off in the distance is a green light, and then it's those anxious few seconds. How much time do I have? Is the light going to turn red before I actually get there? So you look at the seconds showing on the crosswalk sign. All right, maybe you don't have to do this anymore. The new Audis have a traffic light information system, or TLI for short. So if you're approaching a traffic light that's about to turn red, the TLI will know, and you'll get an alert on the heads-up display or the dashboard. It'll even tell you how fast you need to keep going, so this way you don't have to stop at the light. The car uses its built-in 4G LTE connection to communicate with the equally as high-tech traffic light. And if you do have to stop, the system will display a countdown for the light to turn green, although that in itself could be painful to watch. Audi started testing the system in Las Vegas back in 2016, and it's in all newer Audis, with the exception of the A3 and the TT. As far as the traffic light technology, it's in 13 big cities around the country and works at about 5,000 intersections. Here's to not celebrating another birthday, waiting for the light to turn green. Have you ever heard of a company by the name of Sphero? They've made some pretty cool toy robots over the years, like the remote-controlled BB-8 droid from Star Wars, or Lightning McQueen. Well, now they're going the crowdfunding route for something a little different. This remote-controlled robotic car is no Barbie car. It's called the Sphero Rover, and it's meant to get people excited about things like coding and programming and building things. And that means you can add any kind of tech to it through this universal expansion port. You can add an extra battery, maybe a Raspberry Pi pocket-sized computer, a GPS, a webcam, whatever you can think of. Do all the tinkering you want because it's fully programmable and customizable. But it's also got a lot of tech already built in, like sensors, accelerometers, and it's drivable, just as it is. This time around, it's a Kickstarter campaign, so it sounds like the company's trying to play it a little safe with their latest creation. If all goes to plan, it'll eventually retail for about $250. Or you can pledge $200 for the Kickstarter price right now. It's supposed to ship sometime around October. This looks really cool. I love having a son because it means I can justify buying things like this, even though it's for me. Coming up, we're going to go back to the phone lines next on Komando.
I was at a point in my life where I knew something was missing.
I wanted to try to find someone that wanted to experience life together. My matchmaker was awesome. She asked me a lot of questions that were driven to get to know me better, what my likes were, what my dislikes were.
With over 25 years of experience and millions of matches arranged, It's Just Lunch is the world's #1 personalized matchmaking service.
So I loved working with my matchmaker. I would give feedback after every date.
I'm a busy man. I own my own business. It's Just Lunch set everything up. They set up the restaurant, they set up the date. They made it simple. I am so glad I met this amazing woman.
Because It's Just Lunch believes that meeting face-to-face is the best way to tell if there's true chemistry. We guarantee you'll go on dates.
I went to It's Just Lunch, and it's Lori and a whole lot more.
Find out what our matchmakers can do for you. Call 1-800-756-0949 or visit itsjustlunch.com. It's just lunch, but imagine the possibilities.
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone.
I was getting sinus infections because I wasn't cleaning my CPAP properly, and that continued until I got my So Clean.
So Clean is the world's first automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your mask, hose, and reservoir.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. So Clean has been a lifesaver.
So Clean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I would recommend the So Clean machine to anyone else. It is that good of a machine. It has made that big a difference in my life.
Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 or go to SoClean.com.
The phone lines are open. 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And standing in the Kim Komando Show Man Cave, as always, is Andrew Babinski, taking your calls from coast to coast in the most positive attitude that he can drum up right now.
What's up?
Yeah.
How can I help you?
There you go.
Oh, you wanted a call?
Yes.
Fine.
Oh.
Jeff is in Minnesota.
Yes.
Chef Jeff.
Chef Jeff.
Chef
I like
Jeff.
that. That's, it's got like Kim Komando, Chef Jeff.
It rhymes.
Yes.
He's done it all in the restaurant industry, and now he thinks that the recipes, which I have to agree with him. I'm the cook in my household. I do 99.9% of the cooking, and I have to agree with him. It is convoluted on the internet, all the recipes. That if you want a recipe for one thing, you're going to go to allrecipes.com, and then you're not going to find the second thing you want. So it's going to be a different video, a different format.
And let me tell you what drives me crazy is when you go to find the recipe, they have to write all about it.
Yes.
And then they give you all the pictures.
This huge blog.
Okay. And then you have to read.
Strawberries were always important to my grandmother.
Okay. And then you go all the way again to the bottom. And then you're like, just give me the recipe.
How many cups of rum raisin do I need?
Exactly.
That's all you need. That's why Google Home is fabulous.
Why?
Because you say, hey, Google, I want a recipe for, and I'm just going to say tacos. Tacos. And then it'll say, okay, I have the ingredients ready. Do you want me to do them one by one? And you say yes. And they go through them one by one as you get everything out of the pantry. And then they go through step one by one until you're finished cooking. You don't even have to look at a screen. It's fabulous. Anyway, Jeff says he can do it all better. And he needs your help
now
getting it going.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I have seen Chef Jeff's video. Is that correct, Jeff?
You may have, Kim. Thank you so much for taking my call. There is one video online where I did something fairly close by the house. Here, there's a small radio station, television station that had me do a video. It was kind of long, actually. It ended up being about a 20-minute video. But I have to laugh when I hear you guys talking about, looking for recipes and how they kind of go off on different tangents. And I'm the same way because talking to Andrew, I've been doing this a long time. I'm an older fellow now, and I've been in the business ever since I was 14 years old. And I've been a chef in many different restaurants, and I had a restaurant myself, and I've done a ton of catering. But mostly I enjoy teaching cooking classes, and that's what I've done primarily for probably the last 20 years. And I like research and developing recipes, and I've worked hard at making them very clear and easy to understand. Teaching classes, I get the feedback, so I'm pretty good at it. And I go through the same process as you guys, looking online and seeing these different recipes, and they're all structured differently, and you kind of have to reset your eyes and look for different things, and then there's a backstory on it, this, that, and the other thing, and I'm with you. I mean, I want to know what the recipe is. I want it to be clear.
Yes.
And a nice little video would be good, and it can't be too long.
But I will tell you, those tasty videos, they get me every time.
Which ones?
The tasty videos. Andrew, have you fallen for them?
Beef Wellington is the last thing I made off of a tasty video.
Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Okay, but the tasty video shows you how to do it in...
takes 45 seconds.
45 seconds.
And we all know Beef Wellington only takes 45 seconds, right, Jeff?
And then you look at the video and you think, hey, I could do that. I could do that.
Really? Are they pretty good?
Oh, yeah.
Very
Tasty's
good.
recipes are, especially their desserts.
Yeah, they're very, very good. So let's talk about you. Let's focus on you, Jeff, because you're a very humble guy. You say you're really good at this. And
yeah, I have to blow my horn sometimes.
You know what? That's okay. I firmly believe that if you really wanted to do this, you could do this. I mean, but you have to really, really want it.
I understand.
But what I don't see is a shtick, okay? when I was watching the video, I was waiting for a signature move. I was waiting for something like this past week. I watched on Good Morning America best-selling cookbook author chef Samin Nosrat. Okay.
Gotcha.
And she's got a New York Times bestseller book out right now. It's called Salt, Fat, Acid, and Heat. Okay. She reduces every recipe down to how much salt, how much fat you're going to put in it, what's the acidity, and how you cook it. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. That's her shtick, though. Okay. And when she comes on television, she's got this big, bright smile. She's not a pencil, if you get my drift, all right?
Right,
okay.
right.
She looks like she cooks and she eats, right?
Right,
okay.
right.
So often you look at these chefs and they're 100 pounds and you're like, I don't know what you're eating, but you ain't eating that. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to fall into that category, actually.
And so what I would encourage you to do before you start thinking about this, okay?
Right.
We're gonna take you as if you are the product, okay? For the Kim Komando Show, guess what? I am the product, okay?
Right.
All right. So you need to come up with what is your product going to be? How is it going to help mankind? How is it going to make a difference? What is the shtick, so to speak? Okay. Mine is, I'm not going to tell you how the carburetor works, but I'm going to tell you how to drive the car, okay? I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you how an iPhone works, but I'm going to tell you 3 ways that you can use it to save your life. But if you're going to come up with a recipe site, first you need to come up with the concept. How are you going to be different? How are you going to break through? Look at these tasty videos. Look at the American Test Kitchen videos, okay? What is it that you are going to leave as your legacy and the water cooler message when somebody sees your video? How are you going to be different? Okay, once you can answer that question for me, then I can tell you how to sell yourself, how to market yourself, and I can tell you how to make money online with that concept. Because if I can do it, anybody can do it, let me tell you. And thank you for your call. Next, 12 smart gadgets for that Amazon or Google Assistant that will help save you money and make your life just a little smarter here on Komando.
Be a caller on the Kim Komando Show. Call 1-888-825-5254. Live Fridays, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or send your questions and comments to askkim@komando.com.
Like many other companies, we create a lot of data, and all that data needs to be stored somewhere safe. It was starting to get pretty expensive, and then we discovered Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. It's so affordable, it blows away all other forms of cloud storage. Less than just the annual maintenance cost of on-site storage. Wasabi is at least 80% less expensive than Amazon S3, with no charges for API requests. Wasabi's lightning fast. On average, it's 6 times faster than Amazon S3. When we need to retrieve a show from storage, it's almost instant. Unlike other companies, they don't charge me to get my own data. We don't have to guess what we'll be spending on storage each year. Because it's so fast and cheap, they have just one tier of service. Compare that to Amazon's S3, which you need a PhD in cloud storage to figure out what tiers to use and when. Wasabi's been a game changer for us. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. The Center for Medicare Services has officially authorized new benefits Medicare Advantage plans may include. Plans may now include private home aids and rides to medical appointments. Most plans also include dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. To get the benefits you deserve, call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline, and they instantly advised me that I wasn't getting all the benefits I deserve. They explained I could get a plan that includes dental and prescription coverage, as well as the new coverage for private home aids and rides to medical appointments. If you want to find out what you deserve, call the number on your screen now. It's free. You'll be happy you called, I guarantee it.
Call to see if you can save money and get more benefits now. Don't delay. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-811-8680. That's 1-800-811-8680.
This week's Digital Life Hacks tip is all about making yourself, your home, super smart, smarter, because you have your Amazon Echo, you have your Google Assistant. So what I decided to do was put together a list for you of different ways that you could actually use your smart assistants to maybe make your life a little better. Like, for example, number one, brighten your life with smart lights. That's right. Why should you get a smart light bulb? What could you do? All right, they're really great. You have voice control with Amazon Alexa. And then paired with Alexa or Google Home or Apple's HomeKit, you can be like Captain Kirk and simply tell your virtual assistant of choice to turn the lights on and off. And of course, we're going to tell you the best setup to get with the Philips Hue Color Start Pack or the Echo Dot and the Echo Plus, or a fraction of the price in case you just want to try it out is Sengold's Color Starter Kit. Number two is you can save time and money with a smart thermostat. So instead of just sitting there, getting off your butt on the couch to turn it down or turn it up, now you can actually tell your smart assistant to do it. And one of the best ones out there is the ecobee 4 Smart Thermostat. We'll tell you why. An honorable mention goes to the Nest Learning Thermostat. You can also cool your home down smartly with a super fan. The leading name in the smartphone is Hunter. Hunter's simple connect-enabled ceiling fans, you can integrate them with your home automation system. You can do a lot of cool things like set up routines and triggers. Number four, turn your home instantly into a smart home by using smart plugs. That's right. So not everything has to be smart. If you have a smart plug, you can go ahead and make whatever is not smart, smart. Look for plugs like Tantan, Aukey, or iClever, Wemo, Casa. You can transform any TV into a voice-controlled smart gadget by using the Fire TV Cube. I'll tell you more about that. You can make your patio a voice-controlled tech wonderland with smart plugs, indoor and outdoor plugs and lights. You can level up your smart TV game with artificial intelligence. You can also get one controller for them all, like the Hubitat Elevation Hub. You can also make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood with smart sprinklers. And then you got video doorbells and cameras, smart locks, and also the smart appliances. With the smart appliances, you have the GE Profile Electric Reigns. Makes the perfect addition to any smart home. It actually has built-in Wi-Fi. Now, our very own Andrew Babinski, you have been making your home smart.
Yes, and we absolutely love it. One thing I would do is that, especially with the Google Home, it knows where it is, as long as you tell it. So when we walk into the bedroom, we don't have to say, turn on the bedroom lights, turn on the bedroom fan light anymore. Now we just say, hey, Google, turn on the lights. Because it knows it's in the bedroom, it knows the light is in the bedroom, and so it turns on the bedroom light.
What are you using as a hub?
The hub is actually, we have one in the bedroom, we have one in the living room, and one in the kitchen. And you brought up buying smart ceiling fans. We just have remote control fans, and we bought one hub that controls them on the remotes. It's a little more of a setup, but we only needed to buy one device instead of 4 new fans for the whole house. The device controls all the fans through their remotes.
Now, what is the best part of your whole setup?
The best part, I think, is I work on a radio show in Phoenix, Arizona in the morning, and my son wakes up and he says, hey, Google, I want to listen to Daddy. And it tunes to the radio station. I think that may be the best part of the Google Home.
So did you set that up as a skill?
Yes. And I set it up in like 4 different ways because he kept on changing the way he would word it. And so I just kept on adding one. So no matter how he words it, it turns on my radio station.
That is very cool.
Isn't it?
So for links to all of our smart gadgets, look no further than the official homepage of The Kim Komando Show. Head over to KOMANDO.com and hit that Show Picks button. Here at The Kim Komando Show, we have a lot of data that needs to be stored. We use Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. When most enterprises think of cloud storage, they think of companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. This is a costly mistake. Yes, companies like Microsoft and Amazon They've been doing it for a long time, but that's exactly the problem. Their technology is last generation. Wasabi is next generation cloud storage that's 80% cheaper and up to 6 times faster than the better known brands. Unlike Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, data storage is all Wasabi does, and they're experts in it. It's their passion. They truly understand the needs of enterprise. So they don't have things like egress fees. Companies don't know at the start of the year how much they're going to need to access their storage. So if they're getting charged to get their data back, it makes it impossible to budget. So Wasabi, they just don't have those fees. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com. That's wasabi.com. In this week's money tip, if you're shopping for a brand new home, you know that there are just tons and tons and tons of various websites that you can go to. But the process gets kind of complicated then. And as we've spoken about here on the show before, that if you're trying to sell your home, there are specific ways for you to do it, to average, get the price, and maybe even have that make me move price that you publish publicly. But this week, let's focus on how to shop for a house in 3 easy steps using 6 online tools. We're going to start at the top. Knowing your credit is key. The higher credit score you have, the lower the interest rate. We all know that. But there are a couple of resources to learn about your credit. Number one, you can check your credit for free over at annualcreditreport.com. And it is completely free. It's not going to ask you for your credit card number or verification fee. So if you see anything asking for your payment information, you are just in the wrong place. Do not enter any information. And then, of course, you want to compare your credit to national averages. You can do that over at Credit Karma. Step 2, figure out how much house you can really afford. Now, you have to remember you have recurring expenses: insurance, utilities, car payments, student loans, memberships, miscellaneous expenses, yes, entertainment. And then you have to look at your income, your down payment, your monthly debts. For all of this, we found some affordability calculators that you want to use. Makes it really simple. And then we also found some mortgage calculators that will help you do the heavy lifting as far as, how much do I need to put down in order to keep my monthly payment in a place where I can do it. And then finally, we send you to the best places to search for homes: Realtor.com, Trulia.com, and then, of course, there are the other sites that we want to make sure that you tap into as well: Homes.com and Redfin.com, and the list goes on and on. But in case you are looking for a brand new home, or maybe you have somebody younger in your life, in your family, that they're just looking for their first home or their second home, and you want to help them out by giving them the right resources that they can use online and in apps, send them no further than Komando.com. Of course, we've got all the links and more information over at Komando.com in that Show Picks of the Week button.
Stand by, Cam 11. Take a look.
All right, with all the data breaches on Facebook, you'd be crazy to buy that new Portal smart screen. All right, Mark Zuckerberg says, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you my thoughts coming up next here on Komando.
Fade to black.
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone.
I was getting sinus infections because I wasn't cleaning my CPAP properly, and that continued until I got my So Clean.
So Clean is the world's first automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your mask, hose, and reservoir.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. So Clean has been a lifesaver.
So Clean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235. to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I would recommend the SoClean machine to anyone else. It is that good of a machine. It has made that big a difference in my life.
Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 or go to SoClean.com.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup Weed Killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Glyphosate, the primary ingredient in Roundup Weed Killer, was recently designated a probable human carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Call right now.
Call 800-866-0053. That's 800-866-0053.
Given Facebook's numerous data breaches and privacy scandals over the last year, let me ask you a question. Would you trust a video camera you purchased from them to be completely safe from hackers and trackers? Last November, Facebook unveiled their Portal smart screens for video chats at home using Facebook Messenger. Now, a few months later, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is hitting the streets trying to turn around all the negative press about him and Facebook and the string of massive data breaches, bad management, and arrogant stances. He recently stopped by Harvard for an interview where he said, and I quote, "We definitely don't want a society where there's a camera in everyone's living room," end quote. Well, the interviewer told Zuckerberg that Portal is exactly the camera in everyone's living room that he's selling. Zuckerberg laughed and said, "That is, I guess, yeah." All right. You have to be a real dope to give Facebook a portal for more breaches and tracking of your life. Hey, thanks for watching our show. It's such a blast for all of us to put it together. You can keep the digital life know-how going with more videos and podcasts and tips at komando.com.